Sparky's thoughts.
Hey, subscribe to my live channel or else you'll have 5 years of bad luck. Do it now, do it now, do it now. People in our generation even still fall for stuff like that? I don't know. Just subscribe to my live channel, please, man. Come on, back to the video. A YN, the new big meme taking over internet culture at the moment. And one of the only memes that, for obvious reasons, doesn't have a definition in the Urban Dictionary. So, that's neat. A YN, or young nigga, is meant to represent a group of individuals, typically of color, that act out dangerously or irrationally, oftentimes even violently, based on the stereotypes of modern street culture. So, you know, ski masks, Atlanta fitted skinny jeans, black Air Forces, the whole nine, Nike techs. You've seen it, I've seen it, everyone's seen it. Now, do people take it to the next level sometimes? Yes. There's no reason why there should be videos of black people just having normal, cohesive conversations and being called a studious YN in the comments. Like, come on, what are we really doing at that point? I done seen people call a black man in a suit a corporate YN. I heard cooking YNs, rich YNs, green YNs, white YNs. Shit, you might be a YN watching this video according to someone's definition. So while people take it to the next level like they do any meme, and while when you use it correctly, it is funny to me, I can't lie. I think what people ignore when it comes to social memes is that they're social memes. So a lot of them come from a very, very real place. And there's a lot of harsh reality behind these laughs that we have on TikTok. Like, the real life version of what these memes are supposed to represent are very real and, quite frankly, kind of unfortunate. So I kind of just wanted to dive into really where this meme comes from and a lot of the mentality behind the people that this meme is supposed to represent. So, without further ado, the harsh reality of the YN meme. So the YN meme, where does it come from? Surprise, surprise, people that actually come from the streets, where due to economic status and social issues and unpredictable lifestyle, things like crime, violence, and rebellion are not only normalized but glorified by the people that come from these environments. Due to the dangerous and unpredictable nature of these environments, a lot of young black men feel like they have to adapt certain personalities and aesthetics and demonstrate certain behaviors to appear intimidating and navigate through their environment. And due to the nature of the streets, the way to gain respect is through demonstrating toughness, fearlessness, and the willingness to crash out at any little thing, especially when your respect is on the line, right? When you essentially live your life one way, right? This combined with the lack of opportunities, or at least oftentimes the lack of perceived opportunities, and the perception that modern media has on black men, it really shapes the perception of how young black men should behave in order to be perceived as masculine and gain a lot of respect in these environments. But overall, a big thing that I want to dive into here is this perception of respect. Fun fact, I don't think a lot of people perceived as YNs care about money the way that they would lead you to believe that they do. I already explained to you what the streets tend to be like and the harsh reality of what comes with it for a lot of people. So how would you imagine that you would gain respect in these environments? The answer is to demonstrate a lot of the characteristics that are associated with the people that are glorified in your environment. If everyone's violent, you have to be the most violent. If everyone's rebellious, you have to be the most rebellious. And as much as people say it, I don't feel like young black men that come from these environments and demonstrate a lot of these characteristics care about money the way that they lead you to believe. I think in any low-income environment, there's always this perception that money will change their life. And in a lot of ways it can. But when you have a bunch of people with the perception that there's only a few things they can do to get money, you have a bunch of people essentially chasing the same thing. And the thing that I don't see people bring up too often is, when you're young, ain't shit you can really do to get money. Your only job is to go to school, come home, and honestly, whatever you do outside of that is completely up to you and whoever's in charge of you. So even if money was important to these people, as a young black man, there ain't really much you can do to get it. So the easiest way for young people to demand respect in environments where they might otherwise feel invisible or powerless is to be tough. And as I said, you're doing this for respect. The best way to get respect is to put down other people that are respected, or aren't, honestly. So in a lot of ways, if you don't take on this persona or demonstrate these characteristics, you might be disrespected or overlooked. So in a lot of regards in these environments, the worst thing you can do is to be seen as weak or vulnerable. So doing dangerous, irrational, or violent things can be a way for someone from the streets to prove that they are somebody in an environment where their fighting can be recognized as respect. Right? So we talked about how people get their respect. We talked about the fact that there are a bunch of people fighting for the same thing. We talked about the fact that even the other ways to get respect, such as money, aren't available to people that are young. Don't tend to be available to people that are young. The next thing I want to talk about is that even for kids that don't come from this environment, these mindsets can definitely still get instilled onto them in a place that my channel has essentially built itself off of, and that is school. A place where a bunch of people from a bunch of environments can come together and have to coexist. I come from a family where it's kind of normalized to make fun of each other, right? It's pretty much just banter to us. So although I used to be kind of sensitive, I feel like to an extent I grew up with a level of tough skin, because it was normal to pull up to a family gathering and grandma tells you that you put on a few pounds, right? That's a very politically correct version of what she actually said, but you guys get the point. So when I got to school, sometimes I remember not even processing that people were trying to bully me, because morally we don't even align. They're fighting for something that's important to them in their world, and in my world, them making fun of me or just trying to push me, I can't process to be something that hurts my pride, because we don't exist in the same worlds. So I remember people doing certain things to try to push me and bully me. They were just like, whatever, haha, it's funny, fuck it. But then you get hit with these two words that a lot of good kids had to live with for the rest of their school careers.
You pussy.
Now I know what a lot of people might be thinking. What does that really mean? So what that they think you a bitch? But the thing that you guys gotta understand is somebody knowing that you're the P word spreads like a wildfire, and then more people know this is the person that you can use as an example to gain your respect. So now you see a bunch of kids that don't even come from places where they had to adapt this mindset. They're essentially being assimilated. So now every time they have an interaction with anybody ever, they have to go into the situation with a new perspective of, is this person trying to try me? And guys, I just want to make something very clear. I don't feel like everyone in the streets feels like they have to gain respect through violence or crashing out or any of that stuff, right? I know a lot of people from these environments that don't operate off of this agenda, right? There's a lot of people from the streets that I know actually come from principle and stand on principles. There's limits to things that they're willing to do, and they understand that bullying innocent people isn't something that needs to be glorified or really just done at all, because you get nothing out of it. There are a lot of stand-up people that come from these environments. But I'd be fucking lying to you guys if I didn't tell you that this generation values different things from what previous generations did. Like a rapper from 20 years ago, for the most part, is rapping about girls, money, and then they'll sprinkle a little bit of kill a nigga on the side. It's like, yeah, whatever. Nowadays, we literally have a rapper that, while he makes good music, is widely known for killing 7 people. And yes, guys, I'm talking about King Von. He's literally, in a lot of regards, been one of the poster boys for the YN meme. I think he makes great music, and I don't only think he talks about murdering people, even though that's about 97% of the content that you'll be getting. But the reality is, kids don't look up to him because they like the way he dresses. No, he has that perception. He's literally the embodiment of what it takes to gain respect in street culture now. I've even heard some people try to make the argument that you shouldn't be a rapper unless you have bodies. Like, it's ridiculous. What does this show to the youth? The rappers that I used to look up to, I looked up to because they dress nice and they get a lot of money. So I can imagine kids nowadays looking at King Von and thinking, do I have to be like that to be successful as a black man? No, you don't. But the point I bring up is that the narrative obviously shifted. Now we have YouTube channels dedicated to talking about the bodies that they think people caught, when back in the day, if a rapper caught a body, you'd never know, because it was considered stupid to talk about, because the one thing you didn't want is to get in trouble with the law. Now getting in trouble with the law is seen as a fucking flex. Now we can go ahead and talk about the other street rapper that kids from our generation idolize and is seen as the epitome of success in the street culture, Lil Durk. Remember earlier how I said I don't feel like people from the streets value money the way that they say they do? He's like a prime example of that, because as much success as he's had for so long, especially for how long it even took him to become a mainstream artist, like bro, I've been hearing about Lil Durk since like 2012. He only became mainstream about 4 or 5 years ago. But even with all that success, he just couldn't leave the streets alone. And this goes into another big point that I pretty much say in every other video. Money will not save you. Money is an amplifier. Whatever characteristics, morals, ethics you demonstrated before you had money, the chances are those will be the exact same morals, ethics, and whatever the other word I just said is after you have money. However, it will be amplified because now you have more resources to be able to demonstrate those same characteristics and morals that you had prior to making money. But there's this thing in low-income communities where it's like, money will save me, money will take me out of this place and put me in a better place. And while it will, it doesn't change your mindset. It'll solve your immediate problems. But if I'm being honest, a lot of people that get rich from the streets still be in the streets. Being a street nigga and getting rich is honestly just a fucking map expansion at this point. Now you're beefing with people out of state. Now you're beefing with people sometimes in other countries. I don't know, because you're still the same person. You just have more money to be able to do whatever you want now. But mentally, you're still in the streets. And now we look at Lil Durk, man who was given the key to his city and then went to jail like a month later. And listen, man, free Lil Durk. But the fact that I even have to say free Lil Durk is really, really sad to me, because he was supposed to be the success story. But now, honestly, it's looking like he's gonna be the example. I find that really, really unfortunate. Even Chief Keef, who in a lot of regards people do look to as the success story, I can't necessarily give him 100% of that credit, because due to a lot of backdoor crap and legal issues, he was kind of forced away from where he came from. It's not even like he made a lot of those decisions on his own accord. Not saying he made none of them, but I really do think it sucks that was the way things had to happen for him to move. We need to understand that there's ways to gain respect other than violence, other than crashing out, other than appearing intimidating. And it starts in our homes, it starts in our role models, it starts in the content that we consume. And really, that's kind of just all I wanted to talk about today. Am I mad at people for enjoying this meme? No. I'll be damned if I ain't laugh at a few of them myself. But at least let's understand what we're laughing at. At least let's bring attention towards the people that actually have to deal with the harsh realities of the effects of this meme. That being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'm out of here.